hatch arrived with much fanfare, but is yet to make a mark in the Indian market, and now it's the turn of its sibling to drive in.
Yes, the face of the car is familiar, and no, it is not a rerun. You might have thought that it is the Datsun Go, but it isn't actually. Well, Datsun India had said that they will bring a longer version of the car. And well, with 7 seats, the Datsun Go Plus is just that.
The thought behind the Go Plus is very clear. A car that was similar in dimensions when compared to a hatchback but could seat more people, and the people at Datsun have stuck to that brief. And yes, that is in line with the Ertiga idea. After all, 7-seater MPVs like these are big in Indonesia, another home market for the Datsun brand, you'll remember. The Go Plus is based on the same V platform as the previous Nissan Micra and the Go, but unlike that sibling, its Cpillar extends a bit, thus increasing its length by 210 mm. This extension means that there is a bit more space at the rear and therefore the third row of seats too. Even though the car seems to target the Maruti Suzuki Ertiga directly, it will not be priced anywhere close to it. With the Go Plus, Datsun will become the first car manufacturer in India to create a segment of the subcompact MPV. Yes, it is below the sub 4 meter mark, just about actually, and that's what makes this an interesting proposition. That is food for thought, isn't it? The other difference is that Datsun doesn't claim the third row for adults and says it's for the kids. Smart. The interiors too see no change whatsoever when compared to the hatch. It's all the same. No music system, basic aircon functions, and the USB and aux-in deal. The second row, however, is much more comfortable and it gives you a greater sense of space for sure. The engine too is a familiar one, and yes, it is carried over from the hatch, so it is indeed the all-aluminium 1.2-litre petrol mill producing 67 bhp. Even with the added weight of 20 kilograms, the engine is fairly responsive and the 104 Newton-meter torque helps give the car some grunt. Like the hatch, the gear shifts aren't the smoothest, but the light steering and good power delivery make it an ideal city car. Noise insulation is lacking and it is therefore an issue. There is a lot of road and tire noise that seeps into the cabin. Out on the open road, you realize that the car does roll a bit too, owing to the high ground clearance and the lack of anti-roll bars. Add to that, very little grip from those rather slim 13-inch Strata tires, and yes, the ride is not the greatest. And then there is the safety aspect, or the lack thereof in feature terms. We brought you news about how the Datsun Go failed the global NCAP crash test, and it must be noted that the structural rigidity of the car had come under question.
After the Datsun Go failed the global NCAP crash tests, we thought it was time for a change, and that change would come with the Go Plus. But sadly it hasn't. Even under safety and security features, there are things like child lock, engine immobilizer, and even central locking. No word of ABS and airbags. We asked the people at Datsun, what about ABS airbags and the structural rigidity of the car? Well, they said they will work on it. It's a step-by-step process. And ABS and airbags will come eventually. But that will also mean a hike in the price of the car. So we wait for A, India to be ready for such kind of safety features, and B, for Datsun India to come out with these in their cars.
It would seem that is a policy change from the government, and luckily we now know that is in the offing. We hope that it happens sooner rather than later. But despite this, and especially when compared to other existing entry price cars in India, you can't deny the fact that Datsun has been bold enough to take on the likes of Maruti Suzuki and Hyundai head on. And when compared to offerings like the Chevy Enjoy or Maruti Eco, the Go Plus will likely hold its own. And an MPV under the 4 metro mark will ensure that the car will attract lower taxes, and this in turn will have an effect on its price. There will be 4 variants on offer with prices starting from 4 lakh rupees And we were also told that there are no plans as of now to bring out a diesel variant.